Hey you guys, how you doing? Welcome in today. It's Garland Jamerson with Mr. Consumer. Um, I'll tell you guys a story. Well, I posted yesterday that I was going to give you guys a video today. And the video was going to be how to sustain growth while still maintaining great customer services. It's where a lot of businesses today lack in, right? Uh, you see some businesses when they first start off, customer service is really good, right? Because they're just starting off. They haven't built that relationship and they don't have that revolving door of customers coming in and out. Excuse me. Later on, what you find out is once business starts picking up, what's the first thing that usually goes out the door? Customer service, right? You start to sustain a little growth, then you start lacking in customer service. Wrong recipe. We want to sustain growth while still maintaining great customer service, okay? I'll give you a couple examples. Been out to eat lately, right? Go out to eat and you go to a restaurant. I'm talking with a local restaurant owner, and he's like, "Well, Garland, I don't have the money for marketing. I really need it. You know, um, I seen what you've done with other restaurants, and I would like you to do the same, but I just don't have it. The prices that I'm charging doesn't allow me a lot of room in to start diverting money towards marketing, right? And this is the reason. And let me go over this. You go to a restaurant, right? Go to some restaurants and you're willing, you see them, they charge $40 to $50 for a hamburger, steak, whatever, okay? And you got some restaurants that can only charge 9, $10 for that hamburger, fries, steak, whatever. Now, what is it? Are they serving a different kind of cut? Maybe, right? But how much more expensive is that cut of steak or that grade of hamburger meat that they're using? A couple of bucks difference. So what is the difference? Why are they able to charge $45, $50 for that hamburger or steak and you're only able to charge 9, $10 for it? Why? Okay, well, let's go over a couple of things, okay? I got 7 reasons for you, right, that's going to help you guys along with this process, okay? So here we go. At number 1, you guys will like this. It's called pay attention to details. How many people are going to pay attention to this video? We'll see. You might get it the first time. The good ones might have to watch it 2 or 3 times. So let's see. Okay. Number 1, pay attention to details. And what do I mean about that? Okay, well, you ever walked into some of these fancy restaurants and you're greeted by the hostess, and the first thing the hostess says is, "Hello, how are you? Welcome in. What is your name? And what brings you to our establishment today?" And, you might say, "Well, it's my birthday, it's my anniversary, we're celebrating this, we're celebrating that." And the hostess says, "Oh, well, how nice. Okay, well, here, table for 2, 3, whatever. Okay, gonna go through the whole spill." But what you don't see is that they're paying attention to every detail. They just didn't ask that question just to make small chat. No, what they did is they kind of put a note down and they passed it to the waiter, your waitress, and said, "Hey, by the way, this is such and such birthday, or they're celebrating an anniversary." Most businesses will take it a step further and integrate it into their POS system, right? That is such and such birthday. Okay, so then the waiter comes over, and they know that you're here celebrating. So 1, they pay attention to details. Number 2 is the service. They make you feel special. They greet you either by your first name, so in this case, it'd be Garland, welcome in. Or if I'm, "Sir, how are you?" You go to some restaurants, you go to your local restaurants. I don't want to call anybody out, but some of the waiters agree to, like, "Hey, what's going on, bro?" Or, "What's up, bro?" "Oh, what's up, man? How are you?" And it's like, "Hey, look, man, don't bro me. Don't do any of that stuff." It's like, you don't know. It's like, just come on, man. Let's keep it professional, right? I'm not saying that we're above that, but I could be out with a business partner or something, right? Greet your customers and show them that level of respect, okay? That's number 1. That's why some of these places are able to charge higher, right? So you're following along. Let's continue, right? Number 3, it's the experience when you walk in there, okay? And what do I mean by the experience? Okay, well, this is I'll tell you what, I was at a restaurant and it was actually my wife's birthday. Let me tell you about this restaurant real quick. It's actually local too. I don't want to give them a shout out because I haven't cleared it with them, and it's kind of top secret. And I'll tell you why it's top secret, right? Okay, so I go to this restaurant and I open up, and immediately when I walk in, it has a sign on there and it says that, hey, please knock, right? Or it's been shut down. This kind of whole spill, right? Anyway, so, and also it had a sign, and the sign said, push the doorbell. So as I pushed it, right, and as the whole time I'm looking around, I don't see a door to enter this place, right? But here, let me tell you the cool thing. So I pressed it, right, and I'm sitting there and I'm looking at my wife like she's asking me, well, is this place open? I'm like, yeah, this place is open. I'm like, you see all the cars out here? All of a sudden, this guy comes out and he opens like this little thing right here, enough to where he can peek through. And he says, yes, can I help you? And I'm like, oh, it kind of startled me, right? And the wife too, right? So I'm like, I said, yes. I said, well, we came here to eat. And they was like, well, do you have a reservation? I'm like, no. And it was a mob experience, right? Like, old bosses like Tony, I don't know, Al Capone and stuff like that, right? So anyway, you're gonna find I'm rambling a lot, but you know what? Good, right? Pay attention. Pay attention to details, I should say. Anyway, so they asked me, do I have it? And I said, no, I don't have a reservation. Do I need to make one? They said, I don't know. Hold on, let me check. So he closes it and he waits literally about 10 seconds. And he opens it back up and says, oh, okay, Tony told me to expect you guys will be coming by. Beautiful. So then he turns around and shuts it. And then I kid you not, there's an old school telephone, payphone that's hung on the door, right? All of a sudden, we see that, but guess what? Behind that telephone, payphone was a door, and it was a secret door, right? And he walked us in, and it was the setting. It brought you back to the day, and you can kind of see from some of these movies, like this is kind of how the mobsters or the old mob bosses, they would eat. It was an Italian restaurant, right? So the experience, right? Have an experience with something. You go to some of these fancy restaurants, it might be the decor, it might be something, they put an experience with it, a theme, something, get a theme. If you don't have one, get a theme. You got Joe's Crab Shack, you got other restaurants. I don't want to shout too many of these people out because they're not paying me, right? Anyway, number 4, unique, right? And what do I mean by unique? They have a story behind the food, right? So you sit down and they say, well, Garland, welcome in. Let me tell you about today's special. Today's special is a steak that's been marinated, that was flown in from deep down in Montana or something, right? And it's been seasoned and marinated for 2 days and stuff, right? So, and the chef cooks it by searing it on this top and then, putting it in the oven or whatever the case is, right? They have a nice story. They bring you into it and you say, whoa, man, this is nice, right? Because they make you feel like you're getting something that not everybody else is getting. Right? So they're very unique. They have a story behind their food, right? And they'll tell you about the chef, where the chef comes from, how long he's been doing this, or they might have a new chef. New chef is in. He's brought in all these new ways to cook the food or something. Very unique, okay? Number 5, right? They got a special formula, secret recipe. Coca-Cola was great at this, right? And they still are, right? Everybody's wanting to duplicate Coca-Cola's product, right? But never can. Now, do they have a secret formula? Who knows, right? But they've told us for so long that they do. We now believe that they do, right? And of course, they was the first one to the Coke sector, right? They brought us to Coca-Cola and stuff. So we got you over time. we've got familiar with their unique taste, right? So special formula, right? Now, for you out there in the restaurant area, it can be a special way that you season the meat, right? A special way that you marinate it, right? Something special that's going to make your customers feel special. You put time into this meal that you're going to present to them. You know, it's cooked with love, right? Number six, this is the one that I want you guys to probably pay attention to the most, is the environment. And what do I mean by the environment? It's not the same as the experience, but the environment is you have great team members working there. Everybody wants to be there, from the hostess to your waiter to the busser who's walking around bussing down the tables after people are leaving. You can just feel the energy, the way they communicate with each other. You know, everybody's happy to be there. Nobody feels like, oh, it's just another typical Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm just here to collect a check feeling. No, you don't feel that. You just feel positivity in there, which at the end makes you feel positive with your dining experience and whoever that you are dining with, right? And number seven is the quality of the product, right? That you're serving. Now, maybe right now that's not something that you can immediately improve on, but you actually can. Tweak a couple of things. Try a new seasoning here. All that. Let me tell you a story. I went to this restaurant, and it was actually the first time that we was at the restaurant, and the waiter asked, and he said, well, is this your first time here? And I'm like, yes. Oh, what brings you here? Oh, we wanted to try something new. So at the end, you know what they did? Typically, when you're at a restaurant and you get done eating before they bring you the bill, they're going to come around and ask you, hey, did you guys leave any room for dessert, right? Not this time. No, no, no. It was our first time dining there. So what they did is they picked out 3 of their top desserts and brought it to us and said, you know what, here's 3 desserts, because your guys' first time here, go ahead and give it a try on us, right? And I was like, man, and I'll tell you what, that right there hooked me in, and I've been going to that restaurant every since, right? And usually when I'm done eating, I don't do dessert. But since they did that, and the dessert was really good, by the way, too. But since they did that, every time we go to the restaurant, even if I don't have room for dessert, I always tell them, put me one to go. I'll take one to go, right? So there goes 7 ways that you guys can start increasing. So now if you're trying to figure out, well, why are they able to charge more for their food? That's probably the reason why. Another thing, right? We got this, it's a family restaurant that we go to, right? My kids love it. And they're always say, hey, well, Dad, can we go here? And, it's right down the street from us, too, so it's close by us. But you know what? Every time I go there, I know I'm going to have to deal with headache, right? I know that when I ask for ranch, if I'm getting a hamburger and I want the mayo on the side along with everything else on the side, I always know I'm going to have to ask 4 or 5 times because they either forget the ranch every single time. My son is always asking for the ranch and stuff. They forgot the mayo and stuff. So I know every single time I'm going to have to deal with the headache over there. So now what I do is I find myself when I'm going in there so I can enjoy the time out with the family, as I tell the waiter or the waitress right in the beginning, hey, I tell you what, instead of me tipping you 10%, or 15%, I'll tell you what, if you can get every single thing right, I'll tip you 25, 30% on the tip. I just want to have a good dining experience, right? Because sometimes when that kind of stuff happens, it takes away from the dining experience. It takes away from the ambiance, the conversation that you're having with whoever you're out with. So what I want you guys to do is drop some comments below and let me know about some of your guys' dining experiences. Feel free to shout out some of the restaurants that you feel could use these 7 things to improve on their stuff, which will at the end help their growth and still make sure that they're focusing on great customer service. Okay. Also subscribe. You can hit the subscribe button down there, and also you can also download the PDF of this whole conversation, the 7 steps to improve, right on our website. And also, next time you're out eating and you're with your wife or your husband, watch for this, right? And then when you're out eating, you can say, see, honey, or see, this is exactly what Garland was talking about in this video, right? Okay, well, anyway, you guys have a great day today. Let's be productive. Make those changes, and let me know how it goes. Thanks. Bye.